this is the first time where I've really sat down and made a video after like, you know, like learning about someone or a situation and then just like having such a reaction to it that I was like, I need to make a video about this. So anyway, I was on Reddit earlier today and I was on the blog Snark subreddit, which is like blogger gossip, but like not really. Like I kind of scroll through it, but I saw there was a post about this YouTuber who passed away called Claire Wineland. I had never heard about her before anyway. She was 21 and she died of cystic fibrosis, and which is like super sad. I remember like learning about cystic fibrosis when I was in like 7th grade. I think I did a report on it. It was like, learn about this terribly tragic disease, young 12-year-old. So I did a one-page report on it, and basically what I learned at the time was it's a disease so bad that it really messes up your lungs with a bunch of mucus and you can't breathe, and then the average life expectancy of someone with CF or cystic fibrosis is like 40 years old, but it's not that unheard of to hear of someone dying in their 20s from it, because basically what it does, and I'm not an expert on this, like I've literally just been reading about it like today, like learning more about it, is it basically causes complications that from your lungs having mucus in them, it causes your other organs to start to shut down from complications. So basically it's just kind of a progressive disease that is like, I don't know if it's technically considered a chronic illness, but it's something that you live with for your entire life. There's no fix. So Claire had passed away from, like my other thing is like whenever I hear someone has died, like I have to know why. Like I'm like, how can I outrun death kind of mentality. But anyway, she passed away from, she had chosen to get a lung transplant, which I guess is a treatment or kind of a way to prolong someone with CF's life. So she had chosen to get a lung transplant, and I guess one of the complications from that was having a stroke, which is like really terrible, and she went to coma and never woke up. It's just like so, I don't know, I just like so rarely like online or in like movies like relate to people so much. But it's just like, she was so young. And it's just really sad. And you know, she had like so much ahead of her, you know. It's just really hard, like in life. It's, you know, as I get older, it's not super uncommon for me to think, why is it that, you know, like out of luck, out of circumstance, out of privilege, out of where I was born, out of who my parents were, who my parents weren't, like I've just said genetics, because CF is like a genetic disease. Like what about me being born who I am has given me the ability to live to like age 32. But then like someone so bright and so young and just so full of life only gets to live to 21. And I'm not saying that I'm not those things. It's just like you look at it and it's just so tragic. I think it's like the hardest part for me is like I watched, like she had up on her channel, she had done like a previous channel where it was like more commercial, I guess, and it was by a third party that was kind of producing her videos, and they weren't as relatable. But like her newer channel, where she had been posting up until like 3 weeks ago, was just so relatable. And like I just looked at her, I'm like, she's very like wise beyond her years. Like I definitely felt like watching her videos that it was more like watching someone's videos who was maybe like in their later 20s. So even though she was only 21, like I definitely found like I can relate to her, even though the problems of like the typical 21-year-old white girl in America, like, you know, aren't typically that deep. So I guess definitely, like, she felt really wise beyond her years. I don't know. And it feels like so weird to be like this upset about someone I didn't even know about yesterday. I mean, I know there's a lot of upsetting things in the world, but it just feels like so unfair. But then it's also like really hard because, you know, it makes you realize how much we really do take for granted in our everyday life. Like just being able to breathe. Like people with CF can't breathe like even anywhere close to like 100%. Like her lung capacity was at like 27%. So just being able to breathe is something like basically basic bodily functions like that we all take for granted when you're healthy, you know. And then also like not realizing or even really thinking about like, okay, every day thinking one day my life is going to be over. What do I want to do with this day? It's just not fair. It's just really not fair. I don't know what else to say. And like, she really did grasp that, you know, she wasn't here forever. And to be able to look at your own mortality and be like, okay, so my whole life I've been told, basically, she said that she was going to die in a few years, die in a year, die in 3 months, you know, and to just realize if you are an average human in the United States, your life expectancy is like 78 years old. So sitting here at 32 and thinking, okay, well, I've got 40 years left on average. What am I going to do with that time? But just thinking about how having such a short period of time, being told you might live till 21 maybe, and just like how much you don't want to waste that time. I don't know. We can all probably be doing a lot better job at not wasting our time. Damn, what a shitty thing. I don't know. It's just really sad. Her videos are like I watched them. I literally watched, there was only 7 up on the channel. They were each between like, you know, 10 and 20 minutes. Just kind of had them on in the background. I'm like, this girl is awesome. It's just really sad. She did have an organization that she started to help other people with CF to help them pay for their treatment, where, you know, like healthcare in the United States, our glorious healthcare system, you know, like help them with bills and whatnot. I don't know off the top of my head in this video what it's called, but I will link it down below. And I don't know, it feels weird to like be like, oh, link her channel. Oh God, what? So fucked. Like, why? I don't know. It's just not fair.